It's Klayton, aka Celldweller, and I'm here in collaboration with Vintage King Audio today to talk to you about the 4MS dual looping delay. The dual looping delay, or DLD, is not an analog or tape emulation. It's a modern digital delay and combines features of delay and looping with sample-tight synchronization. You have two channels here that can record up to 2 minutes and 54 seconds of content. It's either 16 or 24-bit at 44.1, so you've got some good fidelity there for your audio. So by nature, this is a stereo device, but it can be used in a few different configurations. So if you want to use this as just one discrete mono channel, send your input into the B section instead of the A, because the B is not normal to anything else. Input into B, output of B, and you've got one channel. Now if you send your input into A, just one channel, a mono signal into A, that is normal to B, so you have two delay times now, a left and a right, that you can control independently with that same original source. Or you can take a stereo signal or two different sounds, put them into A and B, and control them that way. So there's a few different configurations depending on what you'd like to do. So before I get into this, I want to mention that I am externally clocking this. If I did not have an external clock in here, you can hit that ping button and it will become your clock, or if I send an external clock in, it will follow that and correlate to my loop that's playing back right now. I used a loop from my sample-based instrument transport, and I'm going to run that through the DLD and show you some stuff. So I've got my mix all the way to dry. Let's turn that up halfway and we'll hear the effect of the DLD. Now I'm going to change delay times and you'll hear how that affects your delays. So another cool feature on this is you have a reverse function on both sides, and you can send clocks into them or you can hit these buttons manually. I've set it up so I can send two different types of clocks into the reverses, and you'll hear how they will reverse the loop in real time. So I'm taking one external clock source and I'm going into the reverse of channel A. Then these two loop outputs here on the DLD correlate to the timing of each channel. So this light will show you what that output will be as far as a clock, and this light on channel B will correlate to the output of that clock. I'm going to take the loop output of A and go into the reverse of channel B. So as you'd expect on a module, there's a lot of things here that can be controlled by voltage. So instead of me modulating those delay times by hand independently, we can send voltages in there. So let's send a random source like the woggle bug into the inputs of those time functions on both sides and hear them modulating randomly. So there is a hold function on the DLD which allows you to take whatever is in memory and hold it in a pattern. And so this is great for like loop recording, where you can hold a pattern and then play over the top of it. And when you instantiate hold, whatever you're playing in on that same channel does not get recorded into the loop. So the loop will just continue to do its own thing, and whatever you're playing back is just in real time, and that's the only place it lives. So I thought it'd be cool to use a guitar and another loop from my instrument transport to show you an example of this. So there's so much to get into here. I haven't described all of the functions of this thing, but one thing I wanted to mention that I'm going to show you right now, as I'm leaving this guitar loop I just recorded up and live, is you've got these switches next to the time knob. And if you turn that switch from the middle where I've had it during most of these patches down to 1/8, it basically cuts your time by 1/8, so you can get much faster delay times. And if you flip it up, it's +16, so it adds 16 beats to that time value, which makes you have much longer delay times. So the reason I'm telling you that is because I'm going to flip the guitar channel down into 1/8 mode, and you're going to hear that pattern get very quick. It's only going to loop a small portion of this. Why that's cool is because you can do something when you're in hold mode called windowing. What windowing is if you have a long loop, let's say about this long in time, and you're only actually looping a little section of it, you can move a little window of that sample and traverse it throughout that whole long sample. So I'm going to show you how you can actually do that here, which is pretty cool. Let's listen to windowing first in equals mode, which is what I've been running this throughout this whole demo before going into 1/8 mode. So if you hold down the hold button and then twist your feedback, you'll hear the portion that's looping changing. Now if we flip this down into 1/8 mode, we could do the same thing but with a much smaller piece of the sample. Thanks for sticking with me all the way through this episode of Celldweller Production. As usual, there's a lot more in this module than I can cram into this short amount of time, so you can do more research on the web or get one for yourself. Head over to vintageking.com and they'll get one to you stat, and you can spend hours playing with this and creating masterpieces. There's a lot more of this content coming to my channel, so subscribe to my channel or save this playlist so you don't miss a thing. And until next episode, this is Klayton, aka Celldweller, signing off.